Just here to get straight to the point. My wife and I have been married since we were 25. We are 38 now. We met in college, got married, and everything has been great. We both graduated, got good jobs, and started our lives together. My wife and I both made good money, so money was never an issue for us. My wife worked for her father's small business while I worked for a very large company. After a few years, my boss left the company unexpectedly, and they needed someone to take over. The only person who knew how to run the department was me, so I got a major pay jump, better bonus, better benefits, the works. So, at 28, I was making probably 3 times more than my wife. At 28, the same year, my wife gave birth to our first daughter. Then, 2 years later, our second. My wife, due to working for her father, was able to have more flexibility in working. Well, around 5 years ago, my father-in-law passed away unexpectedly. That left my mother-in-law and wife in a difficult position. They had to decide whether to sell the company or run it themselves. My mother-in-law had no idea how to run it, so my wife said she would take over. After my wife took over the company, it performed just as well as when her father ran it. With that being said, my wife received a significant pay increase, more than me. I was proud of her. Going from a basic worker to running a whole company isn't easy. Anyway, our daughters started suffering from not seeing their parents. My wife and I discussed one of us staying home. She said, "The company you work for will be fine without you. Mine could go under." I agreed. So I quit my job and became a stay-at-home dad husband. I do everything. I make sure the girls are all taken care of. I cook, clean, fix things, make sure errands are run, you name it. I pamper my wife when she gets home from work. This went well for a while until about a year ago. My wife was always very appreciative of what I did and loved it. But she has become very mean lately, saying things like, "Do you do anything? Or how about you work for real what? I work every day making sure you don't have to lift a finger when you get home at all." Also, I had a real job, but I quit to raise and take care of the girls, our home, and you. Not to mention my wife is very affectionate and always has been, but she stopped initiating intimacy, and when I asked, she was never in the mood. That was very odd. Eventually, I stopped trying. I just thought, with all the pandemic stress and everything else, she was just overwhelmed. I started trying harder to make her happy, but nothing ever worked. Last weekend, my oldest had a softball game, so I got everything ready and we went. During the game, I wanted to take a video for my mom and dad since they live in another state and don't get to see my daughters that often. I forgot my phone, so I asked my wife if I could use hers. She had been glued to it all day, so it would be good for her to take a break. Anyway, she handed it to me and said she was going to get a drink and a snack. She got up. I started videoing my daughter when a message popped up on some app. I checked, and I couldn't believe what I saw. My wife and this guy from her work, who is 8 years younger, were exchanging intimate messages and sending videos and pictures. They were discussing their close connection, and then about me. He was mocking me for staying home while my wife worked, and she agreed with him. I couldn't believe what I saw. I was extremely hurt and upset all at once. I heard my wife coming back, so I closed the app and continued videoing. On the ride home, and when we got home, my wife tried to talk to me, but I wasn't in the mood. Eventually, we lay in bed, and for the first time in a while, I guess they hadn't met in some time. She tried to be affectionate. I told her I wasn't in the mood. She said, "If you are going to be a jerk about everything, you can sleep on the couch." I got up and went to the couch, and have been here ever since. I don't know how to move forward with this. I really just don't know where to start. My wife was my everything. My girls are my world, and all of that is falling apart. Any advice would be greatly appreciated as I really need it. Update 1. First off, I do have the text, pictures, videos, and everything. Second, I don't own any of the company. It is 50-50 between her and my mother-in-law. Third, I can't sleep in the bed. I have been sleeping in the guest bedroom every night, and that is where I will be staying. To answer, I have decided to divorce her. This morning, I called a firm in another town to avoid anyone finding out. Thankfully, they were able to get me in this morning as someone had canceled. After dropping off my girls, I drove over there. To make a long story short, he is a very good lawyer. I showed him what I had. He said that luckily for me, with the evidence I have, she will be in a difficult position in the divorce. Since I quit my job to raise our girls, she is never home, she is having an affair, and prioritizes this man over me and my girls. She will lose very easily. He basically said, "We will get child support, alimony, I will keep the house, and she will have to pay for it as long as my girls live there." Also, he stated that we could even try for more money since I am considered no longer viable in the working world, to help me pay for more education to get a job. Some of you were right. He said not to work until after the divorce is over. He said since I am the husband, if I have a job, I could lose a lot of this. He asked if I wanted full custody. I said that I don't mind my wife seeing her girls on the weekends every once in a while, but I would want mostly full custody. He said, since she had an affair in the marital home, I can basically do what I want. Since bringing over a strange man to the house put the girls in danger, it makes her guilty. So I will be going for full custody, where she can get weekends once or maybe twice a month. I want to ensure a safe and stable environment for my daughters, and I will be vigilant about their well-being. I just don't want that man around my girls. He eventually said to keep quiet until the drafts are ready, and then he will issue someone to serve her and have it issued that she is required to leave the home. He said he should have it done sometime next week. He asked me to just keep quiet. He said, "I know it is hard, and you are upset, but just keep quiet until everything is done. Once the divorce is over, you can say whatever you want about her, but until then, keep your mouth shut." He said, "Act as normal. No fights, no issues, sleep in a separate bed, and no intimacy." I said, "No problem, but why?" He said, "Trust me, just don't do it and do as I say." I just got home and have started getting ready for dinner and acting and being normal. I will be acting as if everything is okay until she is served next week, as I can only make 2 updates. Yes, I actually read the rules. Any more will be on my page if anyone cares. Thank you all for the advice and some very harsh words. And to the one person who asked for my wife's pictures, just know, it seems all you have to do is ask her, and she will send them, so it isn't that hard, it appears. He suggested I get some medical tests for peace of mind, as well as a test to confirm my daughter's paternity. When I asked why, he said, it is pretty rare for incidents like this to be the first time they have happened. So yeah, that really hurt to hear and scared me a lot. Update 2. To preface, I have talked to my lawyer about these posts. I didn't go into too much detail. They did tell me, though, as long as I keep them brief and not super specific, that I can post, but I just have to be careful about what I put on to avoid too many details. That is that. So, for a quick update, like I said, it will be brief and not too specific. We will start with the test. I was able to get an STD test on myself and a paternity test on my girls. It came out that I thankfully have no disease, and I am clear. Since I have been pretty much without intimacy with her for the last year, I wasn't all that surprised. Now, for the one that I am sure most of you are wondering about, the test on my 2 girls. Am I the dad? I will always be their dad, regardless of the results. However, I am here to say that, yes, I am their biological father. I have never been so happy to know that I am their dad. Never thought I would have to question it, but here we are. As for what has happened with my soon-to-be ex-wife, she is out of the house, and I have been granted full temporary custody. In the future, it may be a while before I go into more specific details. However, for now, she is out of the house. My lawyer set everything up for me to get my girls and make sure that we legally handled her being removed from the home. It wasn't pretty, but details are for another time. She was served at work, and from what I know, it wasn't pretty. Like I said, though, details are for another time. My girls know what is going on. My oldest knows we are separating, and one of her friend's parents split for the same reason. She has seen what happened with her friend and doesn't want us to split. My youngest just wants mommy to come home and misses her. It kills me and makes me feel like a terrible father, and they probably dislike me now. Sometimes I think I should just let their mother cheat on me to keep the family unit intact and make my girls happy. I just can't do that. Sometimes I consider making compromises to keep the family together. Plus, I know the girls will pick up on it and will not like it that mommy and daddy don't love each other. As for my ex, she is living with her mother at this point. My mother-in-law has called me and asked to meet. I agreed, and we will meet at some point. She didn't ask for details, as she said we will talk later, but begged me not to take her granddaughters away from her. I said, you are a great and loving grandmother, and as long as you can separate my girls from what is going on between your daughter and me, I see no issue with you being able to see them, and I will not take them out of your life. She thanked me, and that is it. My ex has been trying to call me and text me, trying to figure out us. Under the direction of my lawyer, it has been set up so that I can talk to her through a trackable method. And it is purely about the girls. No more, no less. Update 3. Hey everyone. I thought I would give everyone a small update on some stuff that has happened. So first off, I had Thanksgiving with my soon-to-be ex and mother-in-law. I did this purely for the girls and made sure with my lawyer that this was only about the girls and not about reconciliation. That was taken care of. First, I met with my mother-in-law pre-Thanksgiving. We met and had a pretty mutual discussion, mainly just things about how we will handle my daughters afterward. My mother-in-law did tell me some stuff about my soon-to-be ex. I guess my soon-to-be ex was cheated on by her high school boyfriend. Didn't even know she dated anyone. I guess this guy came from one of those families according to my mother-in-law, and they told her to avoid him. Well, I guess one night she caught him being unfaithful with another girl. My mother-in-law couldn't believe she would do this. She had a couple of boyfriends before meeting me in college, but she knew they wouldn't last. She said that as soon as she met me, she found her son-in-law. She says she is so sorry for her daughter's actions and will make sure that she doesn't try to do anything problematic with the divorce. Anyway, a couple of days before Thanksgiving, my mother-in-law asked for me to come over for dinner with the girls. I asked if my soon-to-be ex would be there. She said yes. I said I can't with her there. She said she understands but asked if we could put on the holiday one more time for the girls. She said, I know you have a lawyer. Ask them. And if they say it is a bad idea, I get it. I did. And they said to tell your wife via the app that this is purely for the girls to avoid any confusion. So I did. She had contacted me before about coming over. She has been asking to see me and the girls. The girls have been asking me to see their mom. I swallowed my pride for my girls, and we went. It was awkward. My soon-to-be ex-wife gave our daughters a hug, fine, then tried to hug and kiss me. I just avoided her and went to give my mother-in-law a hug. My soon-to-be ex-wife tried to act like husband and wife and was trying to talk to me. I answered with yes and no's and helped my mother-in-law finish dinner and clean up. My mother-in-law is religious and wanted to do a prayer, and my soon-to-be ex-wife sat next to me. I held my daughter's hand, and my wife tried to grab mine. I pulled away. I know it may seem petty, but I don't want her touching me. I am an atheist, but out of respect for my mother-in-law, I go along with it. Dinner was fine. Again, my soon-to-be ex-wife tried to act like we were going to be married and asked about Christmas and vacations I guess she wants to take with us as a family. When she mentioned this stuff, I knew going over was a mistake. We finished dinner, and I pretty much got up, cleaned my daughters and my dishes, and was ready to go. My daughters wanted to watch a movie with their mother that we always watch. I let them, and my soon-to-be ex-wife tried to cuddle next to me on the couch. I sat in the chair after that. My mother-in-law was very mad at my soon-to-be ex-wife the whole night for how she acted. I could tell by the looks she gave her. The movie ended, and we started to leave. My daughters fell asleep, so I carried them to the car. I went in to grab something, and my soon-to-be ex-wife grabbed me in tears, begging to work on things, and that she wants to be a family and is so sorry for what happened. Before I could respond, my mother-in-law intervened, pulled her aside, and began speaking to her sternly. So yeah, I told my lawyer everything and said nothing indicated reconciliation, and you made that clear in your messages. You are fine. My wife is once again calling and begging now to work on us. She gets left on read. I will only talk about the girls, and I am sure they are going to want to do the same for Christmas. I don't know if I can, or if it is okay. Once again, I will discuss with my lawyer. Update 4. This will not be long, but things have gotten very bad for my girls. Basically, my girls had 2 sessions this week with their therapist. The first one was good. My girls came out seemingly more at peace and calmer than usual. I talked to the therapist after, and she seemed to be very good and understand my girls well. So I took them to their second one, and things got really bad. The therapist explained, in age-appropriate terms, that the reason their mother and I are separating is that their mother was unfaithful. I knew eventually she would, but I didn't think it would happen this soon. I went to get my girls, and basically it was a burst of tears and them climbing all over me, giving me hugs, and crying, saying they love me. I am happy they love me, but this is not what I wanted to happen with my girls. I asked the therapist why she told them. She said the girls knew we were separating, and the girls noticed I seemed to be really mean and unloving with their mother. Your girls aren't unaware, she told me. They know how you are, and they know how you treat their mom. They wanted to know why you are separating. I tried to walk around it the best I could, she said, but the girls are not going to progress in therapy if we don't tell them. I am not going to go into detail about what exactly she said to them, but it was age-appropriate. Now they know the age-appropriate version of their mother being unfaithful. I think my oldest could maybe handle this and be okay, but not my youngest. So, we got home, and my girls wouldn't let go of me. They were literally crying the whole night, so I ordered in food, put in their favorite movies in my bedroom, and we laid there all night. They fell asleep, and I went to the bathroom and just cried. My soon-to-be ex-wife doesn't even realize the pain she is causing our girls. I don't know how I am going to deal with this. The therapist told me we could try medication for a bit until they get used to the new normal. I refused to do so, which she supported and said it was just an option, as I am not drugging them. Disclaimer, she cannot prescribe the drugs. She said they would need to see their primary, and they would probably diagnose my girls with something that would allow them to medicate them. I would rather deal with my daughter's emotions the healthy way. I won't have to worry about Christmas, as my daughters hate their mother now. How do I know? My oldest said she never wants to see her mom again. My youngest follows what her older sister says, even though she may actually agree. I was shocked. I said, you don't hate her. You may be mad, but you don't hate her. She loves and cares about you. My oldest just said, no, she doesn't, and then just cried into my arms until she fell asleep. And so did my youngest. This story is a profound and emotional roller coaster. It's heartbreaking to see a seemingly stable marriage unravel due to betrayal, especially when children are involved. The husband's pain is palpable, and his dedication to his family is commendable. It's crushing to witness the emotional toll on their daughters, who are innocent victims in this turmoil. The husband's choice to prioritize their well-being over reconciliation is both brave and painful. It's clear he's navigating this difficult situation with as much integrity and love as possible, despite the immense personal hurt. The journey ahead will undoubtedly be challenging, but his resolve to protect his daughters is truly admirable.